From Leuzinger High School, Lawndale Community and Hawthorne Community Cable Television present the high school game of the week. Today, the Leuzinger Olympians will host the Hawthorne Cougars. We have one down in the top of the first. The delivery to Martinez, right back to the pitcher, Membrano, and he throws him out, and we've got two down. So far, an easy inning for Membrano. So with two down, brings up the number 3 hitter, the catcher, Sarabia. Figueroa led off the ball game. Ground out to the third baseman, Randolph. So now with two down. Jeff Hines, the head coach for Hawthorne, and Joel Romero is the head coach for the Leuzinger Olympians. Hangs a curveball inside. Jesse Fernandez is the umpire behind the plate, and Kim Koch is umpiring on the bases. The pitch is low and inside. Two down, bottom of the first. Leuzinger a record of 2-4 on the year. Defeated by Sarah High School 13-1 on Monday. This pitch is low and outside. So the count goes to 3-1. Nobody on, top of the first. Membrano on the mound with Dickey behind the plate. Over to the third baseman, Randolph, who throws him out. So a nice top of the first for Leuzinger. They set him down 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the first inning, no score. You're watching the high school game of the week, cable television, channel 22 in Lawndale and Hawthorne. Welcome back to Leuzinger High School. Leuzinger will come to bat here in the bottom of the first. It'll be Cabral, Membrano, and Randolph, the top 3 hitters for the Olympians. Alfredo Gutierrez on the mound for the Hawthorne Cougars with a record of 0-2. Defensively, Sarabia will be behind the plate. Arcienga at first and third, the brother combination. Here's a bunt right back to the pitcher. Gutierrez handles it easily, and we've got one down. The rest of the infield finds Bracamontes at shortstop. Riley, the second baseman for the Cougars. The left fielder is Hickson. Figueroa in center. Martinez around and right. No score. Top of the first. Gutierrez delivers. First pitch swinging, takes a bad hop by the third baseman, Arcienga. And cruising into second base is the pitcher, as he looks like he's ready to handle the bat. Goes into second base with a stand-up double is Johnny Membrano. So the first hit of the game is a double for the Olympians, brings up their number 3 hitter. Randolph, the third baseman, who handled 2 balls cleanly in the top of the first. They take time, deliver a jacket out to second base for Membrano. So Kim Koch, the base umpire, is behind the mound. Welcome back to our game of the week. Scales strikes out to end the inning, but not before Leuzinger scores 5 here in the bottom of the first. Gutierrez didn't get any defensive help. Behind him, 2 errors for the Cougars. And the big home run by Dickey in the bottom of the first, following 3 unearned runs given up by Gutierrez. And as we go to the top of the second, the score stands Leuzinger Olympians 5-0 over Hawthorne. We apologize for our power outage. It was circumstances beyond our control, but hopefully we'll continue to bring you the rest of this exciting game without any further interruptions. We go to the second inning as Leuzinger leads 5-0. You're watching the game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television, Channel 22. We go to the top of the second inning. Johnny Membrano is given 5 runs to work with against Hawthorne as Leuzinger gets a 2-run home run that followed 3 unearned runs and lead 5-0. Arcienga, the first baseman, will lead it off. Richard is 9 of 15 on the year, has 4 doubles, 5 RBIs, and a home run for the Cougars and Jeff Hines' squad. Membrano was able to set down Hawthorne 1-2-3 in the first, and then Leuzinger picked up 5. 5 big runs in the bottom of the first. Pitch is outside. Count goes to 1-1. Dickey behind the plate, Dorado at first, Hernandez at second, Cabral at short, Randolph at third, with Phillips in left, Carpenter in center, and Scales in right field defensively. It's a ground ball to the shortstop, Cabral over to first, and we've got 1 down here in the second. Brings up the number 5 hitter. That'll be Hickson. Matt Hickson, 5 of 12 on the season, 3 RBIs and a home run for the Cougars. Steps out, looks down, third base, checks with the head coach Jeff Hines. Johnny Membrano looks in for the sign. Got a 5-run advantage, swing and a miss. We're just underway, top of the second inning for this interconference battle. Ocean League for Hawthorne, Pioneer League for Leuzinger. It's Randolph with an easy play. That's his 3rd putout in just 1 2/3 of an inning. So 2 down. That'll bring up Perez, a designated hitter for the pitcher Gutierrez. He looks at a fastball inside, low at the knees. Anthony Perez, a junior infielder, 3 for 10 on the season, just 2 RBIs for this Hawthorne squad with a record of 1-4. Pitch at the knees. So now the 1-1 delivery by Membrano, fouled away. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes to Perez. Cool afternoon here at Leuzinger. Fog banks starting to roll in from the west as the wind blows out. And with a 1-2 delivery, hits the outside corner. Down goes Perez for the first strikeout of the afternoon for Membrano. We're going to the bottom of this second inning with Leuzinger leading Hawthorne 5-0. You're watching the game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable, Channel 22. We'll be right back with more action. Kevin Phillips steps in here in the top of the second with a 5-0 Leuzinger lead. Phillips, the left fielder for the Olympians, facing Gutierrez his first time around. Looks at a fastball, called strike. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Sarabia behind the plate. And Gutierrez delivers. Chopper. Gutierrez stumbles, can't make a play. It's an infield single. 4th hit of the afternoon now for the Olympians. Back to the top of the order. It brings up Cabral. He led off the game with a pop-up, but then the big explosion. Membrano doubled. Randolph reached on an error by the shortstop. Here's a bunt down the first base side. It's going to roll foul. Paez reached on a fielder's choice. Carpenter with a sacrifice on a fly out to right drove in a run. And then, following 2 errors, Dickey's 2-run home run gave Leuzinger a 5-0 lead after 1.5. So we're in the bottom of the second, a man on. Phillips off first, substantial lead. Checked by Gutierrez. Cabral, and they pick him off. So Gutierrez, the left-hander, looking right at the runner, picks off Phillips for the first out. Here in the bottom of the second. Fernando Cabral is the cousin of Tony Cabral, an outstanding pitcher from West Horns who now stars at Harbor College. Count to Cabral at 1-1. Here's the fastball down to the third baseman. And a nice scoop over at first by Arcienga. It goes from Arcienga to Arcienga. Jesse and Tony, Jesse and Richard on the corners. And we've got 2 down. That'll bring up the pitcher, Johnny Membrano, the number 2 hitter for Joel Romero. And he doubled in his first at bat, came around to score the first run for Leuzinger. The Olympians exploded for 5 runs, 3 of those unearned. Just missing is Gutierrez on the outside corner. About 320 down the left field line, 385 to center, and about 315 down the right field line on a cozy playing field here at Leuzinger Olympians. Pitches inside at the knees for a strike. Membrano's 0-1 on the season. His only loss was to West Horns by 6-0 count. Down to the shortstop. Bracamontes, who throws him out. So Gutierrez, after trailing 5-0 at the end of 1, sets down Leuzinger. 1-2-3, made a nice pickoff play. And we go to the top of the third. Leuzinger leads 5-0. You're watching the game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television, Channel 22. Welcome back to our game of the week, 5-0. We go to the top of the third. Coming to bat for his first at-bat this afternoon, Arcienga, the third baseman. Jesse, 3 for 9 on the season with 2 RBIs. Takes a fastball for a strike. Arcienga will slice it out of play down the first base line. A ball and 2 strikes. Second one out of play. On the mound, the junior, a returning letterman, Johnny Membrano. Also plays a little third base for the Olympians. To center field, camped under it, and we've got 1 down as Carpenter settles there to make the putout. Bracamontes will step in, the shortstop. His error back in the first inning helped set up the big rally for the Olympians as they scored 5. So I'm sure he'd like to make amends for that. Right-hander against right-hander, takes a fastball inside for a strike. On deck will be Riley, the second baseman. And Figueroa, the leadoff hitter. Count goes no balls, 2 strikes. Here's the delivery. Membrano hit on the count, 1-2. Infield, playing shallow. This one's popped up, and it'll be handled by the first baseman, Dorado. So we've got 2 down. And so far, Membrano has not given up a hit or a runner. Stepping in will be Richard Riley, shortstop, second baseman today for Hawthorne, as Membrano, and he swings on the first pitch. Fouled out of play. Behind the Olympians bench on the right side. Well, we had the fog rolling in. Now the sun's trying to peek out. You can see the shadows at home plate. Temperature in the 70s. Comfortable day for baseball here in Lawndale. To the shortstop. Cabral with the long throw. Draws the first baseman, Dorado, off the bag. And that's the first runner, and they might credit him with an infield hit. That'll be the first hit for Hawthorne here. Comes in the 3rd inning as Riley beats it out on a throw wide. Pulled Dorado off the bag. Brings up the leadoff hitter, Alex Figueroa. Center fielder grounded out to the 3rd baseman to lead off the game, as Randolph handled cleanly 2 ground balls in the first. Center fielder Carpenter camped under it again. So they leave a runner. Membrano gives up his first hit, an infield hit. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd with the score. Leuzinger 5-0 over Hawthorne. You're watching the game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television, Channel 22. We're coming back with the bottom of the 3rd. Calarian Randolph will step in to lead it off for the Olympians. We're in the bottom of the 3rd, 5-0. Leuzinger over Hawthorne. Randolph reached and scored on an error back in the 1st inning as Leuzinger erupted for 5-0 lead on 3 unearned runs, and his was the 2nd run of the inning. Pitch fouled off at the plate. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Pitches outside, and now 3-1. 5 runs, 3 hits for the Olympians, 2 errors for the Cougars. Here's the delivery, it's high, and Randolph will be on with a walk. 2nd time he's been on base today. It brings up the designated hitter. Pies will step in He's hitting for the second baseman, Hernandez. Stephen Pies, the junior, left-handed hitter. And Gutierrez, who already has one runner picked off Phillips back in the second inning. Throws to first. He's got a good move over there. Pies reached and scored back in the first. He reached on a fielder's choice. This pitch, curveball, low, swing and a miss. Randolph staying close to the bag and draws another throw. Dives back in head first. Arciana makes a nice retrieval. Steps over the diving runner. Left-hander against left-hander. Stephen Pye is going to take some time. Steps out. And the delivery. Arcienga at first will take it unassisted as Randolph advances over to second base. And we've got one down. Center fielder Carpenter batting in the fifth position. Had a sacrifice. Drove in a run back in the first inning with a fly ball to right field. And then Dorado doubled in a run. Here's a delivery by Gutierrez for a strike on a breaking ball. Bracamontes, the shortstop, trying to keep Randolph, the runner, close to second base. Is inching over. Carpenter steps out, checks for any signs to see if there's a play on. We have one down. And again, they bluff at second. Randolph holds his ground. There's a pop-up right behind us. A lot of the Leuzinger students enjoying this afternoon's game looked straight up and said, anybody got a glove? I'll have to make a play on it. Count, no balls, 2 strikes to Carpenter. One down, runner at second. Bottom of the third. Olympians lead the Cougars 5-0. Now the second baseman bluffs over. Riley sneaks in behind Randolph. Everybody's got a play set. Gutierrez checks the runner. Here's the delivery, the 0-2 pitch. Fouled out of play right side. Count remains. No balls, 2 strikes. Producer, director of today's broadcast, Tom Strickfaden. Excellent camera work. Carpenter behind on the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second. Randolph. Checked by Gutierrez. The delivery's low in the dirt. Scooped up. Nice play by Sarabia. One and 2. Randolph looks like he wants to make a break. See if they have a play on. Try and hit behind him. Move him over to third with only one down. 5-0 Leuzinger. Jesse Fernandez, the home plate umpire, signals for Gutierrez. Go ahead and deliver. Tried to check the swing. Goes around. Called out at the plate. So Gutierrez gets a big out as he strikes out Carpenter for the second out in the inning. That's his second strikeout on the afternoon. That'll bring up Sergio Dorado. Dorado doubled back in the first. Came around to score on the home run by Dickey. Fastball for a strike. Randolph looks over at the third base coach, Joel Romero, see if they have a play on. Gutierrez delivers. A pitch above the shoulders by Dorado is fouled out of play. So he was eager to take a cut. Dorado's the first baseman for the Olympians. Here's the pitch. Just missing low. The ball and 2 strikes. Dickey on deck. He capped off the first inning with a 2-run home run and gave Leuzinger a 5-0 lead. We're in the third. They check the runner at second. Check swing, pitches high and outside. Count evens up now, 2-2. Two down, runner at second. Again, they bluff Randolph. Randolph led off the inning as he walked. Reached second as Pyatt grounded out unassisted to the first baseman. Here he goes. Pitch is high. Here's the throw down. Gets by the third baseman, Arcienga, and Randolph will come around to score. Serabina's throw a little high towards the line. And another error is given Leuzinger its 6th run of the afternoon. And leaves the count full to Dorado. And he'll put it in the hole past the diving shortstop, Bracamontes. And he's got his 2nd hit on the afternoon. So he stands 2 for 2. Four hits for Leuzinger, but 3 big errors for the Cougars have allowed Leuzinger to open up a 6-0 gap. To the shortstop, the throw is a little dirt, and it's juggled and safe is the call. Dickey, who had the home run in the first, reaches on another Hawthorne error. Dorado moves over to second base. It's a second error of the ball game for Bracamontes. The shortstop brings up the right fielder Scales. Looks at a fastball. Called strike. 2 on, a run in. 6-0 Leuzinger. Against really a crosstown rival. Schools are no more than 4 miles apart. Pitch on the outside for a called strike 2. So 2 down. One run in. The delivery by Gutierrez. A swing and a miss, and he strikes out Scales. But not before another run comes in. 2 errors for the Cougars. 6-0. As we go to the top of the 4th, Leuzinger leads Hawthorne. You're watching the high school game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television, Channel 22. We're coming right back with Hawthorne in the top of the 4th. We go top of the fourth. Leuzinger leads 6-0 over Hawthorne. Joel Romero makes a change defensively as the leadoff hitter here in the fourth, Martinez, drives a foul. Marshall moves into right field, replacing Scales. So the new right fielder, Andre Marshall. One and one as the pitch is low. Right at the first baseman. Diving effort made by Dorado. Takes it to the bag. One down. Brings up the catcher, Sarabia. So far, Johnny Membrano giving up just one hit through 3 complete. Leads 6-0. Pitches inside. A ball, no strikes. Fouled away. Count goes to 1-1. Coach Romero's talked about how inconsistent his Leuzinger Olympian team has played as they beat Banning, lost a tough one to West, and then earlier in the week were knocked down by Sarah High School 13-1. So they've had an up and down season, a record of 2-4, but it's early. League play starts next week, and we'll be there to cover all the action on Channel 22. Randolph dives, and it's foul. Our next game will be on Peninsula and Hawthorne. That'll be in 2 weeks. So you can look for Hawthorne to make a return here against one of the top 3 teams in the South Bay. Peninsula Panthers, led by their #1 draft pick, Andy Beal, as Sarabia lines a base hit into left field. Second hit on the afternoon now for the Cougars. Brings up Richard Arcienga, the first baseman. Batting .600 on the season. Grounded out in his first at bat in the second inning. Ground ball to the shortstop, Cabral. This one's fouled away. Check the runner at first, and the pitch is off his front foot, the right leg, and 2 runners on now. First batter hit this afternoon by Membrano, and quickly his teammates come out to talk to him about what they're going to do with the situation runner at first and second. Cabral, the shortstop, along with Dorado, the first baseman. Nobody out. Make that 1 down as Martinez led it off with a ground ball to the first baseman. So we've got 1 down, runners at first and second. First pitch swinging, driven to left field. Back goes the left fielder, and it's gone. A home run. A 3-run home run for Matt Hickson. Hickson on the year has 2 home runs now. And so Membrano was just sailing along and only giving up 2 hits. But here in the 4th inning, He gives up a 3-run dinger. Sarabia scores. Arcienga scores. Makes it a 6-3 game. Just one down. First pitch swinging is Perez, who lines it up the middle. So after giving up just 2 hits, Hawthorne is starting to zero in on Membrano. Johnny gives up a couple here in the inning to go with 3 runs. That brings up Jesse Arcienga. His brother just scored. Jesse's the third baseman. Over to Randolph. And on the relay throw from Hernandez, it's in the dirt. But they get the force out at second. So that'll be 2 down on the fielder's choice. Jesse reaches first. Stepping in is the shortstop, Bracamontes. A couple of costly errors in the ball game. Membrano's pitch is low, runner on, 2 down. 3 runs in the inning. On Matt Hickson's 3-run home run. This one sliced into the gap. And the center fielder, Carpenter, comes over to make the catch. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. It's a 6-3 ball game. Matt Hickson drives in 3 with a home run deep to left field. We're coming back with Leuzinger in the bottom of the 4th. You're watching the game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television Channel 22. Kevin Phillips with a base hit into left field is the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 4th. Gives Leuzinger a runner. Brings up Cabral, their shortstop. He is 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Popped up to the pitcher, grounded out to the third baseman. 6-3, Leuzinger over Hawthorne. First pitch swinging, ground ball. Bracamontes over to the second baseman, Riley. And they get the force at second on the fielder's choice. So they erase Phillips, but Cabral is on. Brings up the pitcher, Johnny Membrano. Gutierrez over to first. Diving back in safely is Cabral. Gutierrez suffered lack of support in the first inning, then gave up a 2-run home run. Leuzinger scored 5, but the Cougars have fought back. Another throw over to first, scoring 3 off Membrano in the top of the 4th inning to close the gap. 6-3, Leuzinger. Check of the runner, Cabral. He bluffs, doesn't go. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, Membrano. Off-speed curveball. Looks like it's going to be up in the zone. By the time you've committed as a hitter, it's down at your knees. Gutierrez into the stretch and then goes over, almost a balk. Kim Koch out on the bases umpiring today with Jesse Fernandez behind the plate. Cabral tried to inch away. Hanging curveball. Loop towards second. A hesitation on the play. The ball gets away from Bracamontes as Riley's throw is a little low, and coming all the way around to score is going to be Cabral. 5 errors this afternoon for the Cougars. A run in makes it 7-3 as Cabral comes all the way around. Membrano moves to second on the throwing error by Riley. Randolph takes a deep and foul down the left field line. Got to play. A run in, a runner at second. Bottom of the 4th. (7-3) Leuzinger. Colarian Randolph, the third baseman, scored a run back in the first after he reached on an error. Walked in the second, reached as far as second base. Looks at a curveball for a strike. So Gutierrez ahead on the count. No balls, 2 strikes to Randolph. Membrano with a big lead off second. Now Riley tries to sneak in behind him. He gets back. Gutierrez again. Now the delivery. Back to him. He's got Membrano on a rundown. Tasianga. Riley gets him with the tag, and Randolph goes all the way around and dives into second base. So we've got 2 down in the inning. One run has scored. And on a fielder's choice, Membrano is tagged out at third base. And Randolph advances on the fielder's choice all the way to second. Stepping in is Steven Paez. Slices it left field. It's going to be a foul ball. Hickson gives chase, but it was called by home plate umpire Jesse Hernandez. Five errors behind Gutierrez today. 4 unearned runs. 7-3 Leuzinger over Hawthorne. They bluff on Randolph at second. He crouches, tries to creep away from second base, get a big lead. Paez, the DH, facing the left-hander, holds back. Two and 1 is the count. Paez takes his time, takes a look at that short right field porch, about 315 down the right field line. The curveball away from him. Counted 3-1 now. I think Gutierrez is spending more time looking at Randolph at second base, and he's lost track of his hitter. Cougars 1 timeout. Pitching coach charges out to the mound. Jeff Hines in his 11th year. Assistant coaches Randy Davidson and Steve Henderson. For Leuzinger, Joel Romero in his 5th season, leading the Olympians. The 3-1 delivery to Paez. Check that. That'll take the count to 3-1 as the pitch is low, is in the dirt. Randolph creeping away at second. 1 run in the inning. 7-3. On a fastball. Nice play by Riley. Backhands it over to first. And Paez goes down, so the Olympians will leave a runner. But they score 1 more. They lead by a score of 7-3. We've gone 4 complete here from Leuzinger High School. You're watching the Game of the Week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Television, Channel 22. We'll be back with the top of the 5th and the Cougars coming up. Second baseman Riley will lead it off in the top of the 5th. First pitch swinging against Membrano. He'll pop it up to left field. Phillips drops the ball on a routine catch. And Leuzinger is going to protest. He was, they're claiming he was bringing the ball down to transfer it and relay the ball in, but he simply got sloppy with it and dropped it out in left field. First error for the Olympians today. And Riley doesn't give up on it. He charges all the way into second base. So after scoring 3 runs in the 4th, the leadoff hitter Riley is at second base with nobody out, and Figueroa coming to bat. Figueroa is 0 for 2 this afternoon. Grounded out and flied out. 7-3, the Olympians over the Cougars. And a balk is called. Membrano turned to his right. And the umpire behind the mound, Kim Koch, said, "You moved your shoulder." So Riley moves to third on the balk. And Figueroa lines it into center field to drive in the 4th run as the Cougars try and fight back here in the 5th. So a drop fly ball by the left fielder, Phillips. Riley went to second, then a balk by Membrano, and a base hit by Figueroa. And the Cougars are right back in the ball game with a runner on, 1 run in. And the pitch is low to Martinez. Martinez 0 for 2. Checks down third base, looks at head coach Jeff Hines for the Cougars. Dorado holding the runner at first, and they make a throw, and he's back safely. On deck is Sarabina, the catcher. Fouled out of play, left side, over into the football stadium. Great work by our crew today. Eric Chavez, Norma Gilbrook, Alonzo Gonzalez, Paul Knapp, Alan Pineda, and of course our producer and director. As always, Tom Strickfaden. And of course we want to thank Larry Bender at Hawthorne Community Television. You're watching the Game of the Week. It's Hawthorne and Lawndale, Ocean League, Bay League. Faking the bunt. Chopper, Dorado has it over to first. Down goes Martinez. Figueroa advances to second base. Brings up the catcher, Serbia. Oral Serbia on the afternoon. He is 1 for 2. Scored the first run for the Cougars. Looks at a fastball for a strike. Back in the 4th inning after he singled. Membrano checks the runner and delivers. Fouled away right off the mask of home plate umpire Jesse Fernandez. Well, we've lost that bright ray of sunshine that we had as overcast clouds have enveloped us here at Leuzinger High School. But this is a real competitive game today, an exciting game. Leuzinger jumped out 5-0, then advanced to a 6-0 lead. This one's chopped into center field. The center fielder gives chase. A nice over-the-shoulder catch by Carpenter. And the runner's going to try and advance to third, and he's in there. So Figueroa moves over on a fly ball to center field for the second out. And a nice relay from Carpenter into Cabral over to the third baseman Randolph. They make an appeal to see whether or not he left early at second, and the appeal is denied on the appeal play. So 1 run in the inning. A runner at third now with 2 down. Brings up Richard Arcienga, first baseman for the Cougars. With 2 down, a runner at third. First pitch swinging, fouls it away left side. Arcienga was 0 for 1, hit by a pitch back in the 4th, came around to score on the 3-run home run by Matt Hickson to close that gap that was 6-0 to 6-3. And then Leuzinger added 1 more in the 4th to make it a 7-3 ball game. Pitch is up. Timeout to sweep off home plate. We've got a 7-4 ball game, a run here in the 5th for Hawthorne. Made it a 3-run difference. The pitch to Arcienga, outside. Counted 3-1. So that'll put him on a pitch outside. Runners at first and third now. Matt Hickson. And we're not sure if we're going to pitch to him or not. They may want to put him on, load the bases, get a force play. Hickson had a 3-run home run in the 4th inning. Hickson's going to take time, steps out of the box. We're going to have a pinch runner over at first for Arcienga. Sergio Garcia will run at first. Figueroa down at third. Garcia running at first. Matt Hickson, 2 home runs on the year, 6 RBIs. Leads the team in both categories. Runner first and third. Fastball for a strike. Ahead on the count. 0-1. Hangs this one. Center fielder Carpenter calls for it. He has it. So they get the dangerous Matt Hickson here in the 5th. Hawthorne scores run. We've got a 7-4 ball game. We're coming back with the bottom of the 5th, and we'll look at that Leuzinger lineup. It's the game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television Channel 22. We'll be right back. Jose Carpenter leads it off, takes a fastball from Gutierrez for a strike. We're in the bottom of the 5th. 7-4 Leuzinger over Hawthorne. Center fielder Carpenter. 1 ball, no strike, swings and misses, evens the count up at 1-1. Carpenter had plenty of action in the last inning. Made 2 putouts and then had a strong relay throw, almost got a runner at third. Both pitchers going the distance this afternoon. To deep center field. Home run. Carpenter takes it over the right center field fence about 390 feet away. Figueroa gave chase and then looked up and it was gone. Makes it an 8-4 ball game. Dorado. He is 2 for 2 on the afternoon. Second home run Gutierrez has given up today. Dickey had a 2-run home run back in the first to close out the scoring for Leuzinger as they took a 5-0 lead. And now leading off here in the bottom of the 5th, it's Carpenter. Ground ball over to Arcienga, over to his brother. And we've got 1 down. First out in the 5th. Eight runs, 6 hits for Leuzinger, but behind Gutierrez, the Cougars have made 5 errors this afternoon. That brings up Dickey. Dickey is 1 for 2, has the all-important 2-run home run. Just missing with the fastball outside. The left-hander delivers. Popped up back to the mound. He's going to call it. That's the second time this afternoon he's done that, taking the pop-up. Right back to the pitcher. We've got 2 down. Nobody on. 1 run in on the home run. Marshall's coming to bat. He came in as a defensive replacement back in the 4th inning, so he's hitting now for Scales. Andre Marshall, right-hander, swings and misses. The senior steps out of the box, looks down to Joel Romero. Fastball for a strike. Gutierrez just misses at the knees, inside corner. breaking ball takes it for a called strike 3. So Gutierrez gives 1 run up to Carpenter. And it makes it an 8-4 game. Leuzinger leads 8-4. We're coming back. Top of the 6th. You're watching the Game of the Week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television Channel 22. So we go to the top of the 6th, 8-4. Leuzinger over Hawthorne. To deep left field. They're going to call it another home run. So with the wind blowing out here today, Perez, the designated hitter, has his first home run on the season, his 4th RBI. We've seen 4 home runs today. It's about 345 down the left field line. Makes it 8-5. A meeting at the mound to see whether or not there'll be a pitching change. Membrembo gives up the long home run to Perez, the designated hitter. And Hawthorne hangs in, trailing by an 8-5 margin. Just 5 hits. Given up by Johnny Membembro. That'll bring up Jesse Arcienga, third baseman. Leadoff hitter takes Membreno deep. And Arcienga loops one into left. 2 hits in the inning, nobody out. 1 run in. See if Leuzinger gets anybody up in the bullpen. Bracamontes will step in. 0 for 2 on the afternoon, swing and a miss on a fastball. There's Cienga off first, held on by Dorado. Check the runner. Breaking ball inside. Turns around, squares up, drops it down. They'll go to second base. They get 1. The ball is juggled there. No chance to make a replay by Crabal. Membrendo pounced right on that bunt back to the mound, made the play, got the lead runner. That'll bring up Riley, the second baseman. Riley reached on an error, advanced on a balk, and came around to score. Bracamontes off first. Safe as he dives back. Dago Perez led off the inning with a home run to make it an 8-5 ball game. Randolph, the third baseman for the Olympians, creeps in on the grass. Whether or not a play is on. One down, the runner goes. They hit behind the runner down to the first baseman. Dorado juggles it, looks at second, gets the runner, and we've got two down. So he makes the right decision. Unassisted over to the bag. Bracamontes moves on to second base. And Figueroa, the center fielder, leadoff hitter. 1 for 3 this afternoon. With a runner in scoring position. Membrendo checks the runner. High throw, and they'll get him. So Cabral gets the third out on the inning with a high throw to Dorado, who pulls it down. Hawthorne gets one in the sixth to make it an 8-5 Leuzinger over Hawthorne. We're coming back with the bottom of the sixth inning. You're watching the game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television Channel 22. Eight-5 ball game. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Kevin Phillips will lead it off for Leuzinger. The Olympians lead by 3 runs. Gutierrez going all the way for Hawthorne. Pitches inside, low at the knees. Arcienga, the third baseman, creeps in on the grass. Count goes 3 balls, no strikes. Cabral is on deck, and then the pitcher, Membrendo. With a swing and a miss. Got nothing to lose, ahead 3-0. Takes it to 3-1. Gutierrez going the distance. We'll have to check his pitch count. But he's thrown a lot of pitches. This one's away from the catcher, Sarabia. But it's ball 4, and Phillips is on. Leuzinger's had a base runner in every inning. They scored 5 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, fourth, and they lead 8-5. They're going to make a pitching change. They're going to call in the second baseman. Looks like Riley's going to come in to make a double switch. Riley will come in to pitch. And Alan Trujillo will go to second base. So Riley moves over from second base. And Trujillo will move over. Again, a reminder, you're watching the game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television Channel 22. It's part of the Hawthorne Cable Usage Corporation. Includes the City of Hawthorne, City of Lawndale, Lawndale Cable Usage Corporation, and the Lawndale Cable Commission. I want to thank Larry Bender from Hawthorne Community Television. And our producer and director today is Tom Strickenfred. Our crew consists of Eric Chavez, Norma Gilbrook, Alonzo Gonzalez, Paul Knapp, and Alan Pineda. So the umpire comes over, gives us a couple of changes. I think we've picked those up. We've got Torrio at second, and then Riley moves into pitch. So Goes 5 complete, gives up 8 runs. 5 of those are unearned. Riley checks the runner, and the third baseman charges in, and a swing away by Cabral brings the oohs and ahs from the fans still here in attendance on this cool and chilly, windy afternoon at Leuzinger High School. I'm Mike Kennedy with the play-by-play. Glad you're with us watching Leuzinger out of the Pioneer League and Hawthorne out of the Ocean League. Phillips off first, checked by Riley. They're going to throw back behind him. They've got a play at him, and yes, they nail him. Leuzinger makes the tag on a quick throw by Sarabia. So Phillips wanders a little too far from the base, and that's the first out here in the inning. So now nobody on. Riley can go from a windup rather than the stretch. Gutierrez picked off a runner early in the game at first base, and now the catcher, Sarabina, picks off a runner here in the 6th. The pitch is up and in. Called strike. Draws a look from Cabral. Count goes to 2-2. Riley's breaking ball. Hits in the dirt out in front of the plate. Now we're at 3-2. Bottom of the 6th. 8-5, Leuzinger over Hawthorne. Shortstop, Bracamontes goes back and makes the play. We've got 2 down. Johnny Membrendo, the pitcher, will step in. First pitch swinging to left field, and it's Hickson with the catch. So for the first time in 3 innings, Leuzinger does not score, but we're going to the top of the 7th. 3 outs left for Hawthorne. They're down by 3. It's 8-5, Leuzinger over Hawthorne. You're watching the game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Cable Television, Channel 22. (8-5) as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Leuzinger over Hawthorne, and Martinez will lead it off, trying to get things going for the Cougars. On the first pitch, pops it up, and the shortstop, Cabral, goes back and makes the catch for the first out. Sarabina, the catcher, who is 1 for 3 this afternoon, singled back in the 4th inning, came around to score the first run for the Cougars. They had a 3-run 4th inning, and he's first pitch swinging. Carpenter sees it go off the wall, dead center field. The relay came in. The play at second base on a relay, they get him. Sarabina tried to stretch it after he singled, and a nice relay from the center fielder Carpenter to the second baseman Cabral, make that shortstop Cabral over to Hernandez, and they shut him down. So there's 2 outs, and Membrendo has thrown just 2 pitches in this 7th inning. Arcienga will step up. He swings on the first pitch. Pitch is outside. The count goes 1-1. Membrendo delivers. Driven foul. Outstanding defense behind Johnny Membrendo today. Alfredo Gutierrez goes 5 innings for Hawthorne, gets a lack of support. 5 unearned runs. This one to right center. And it's going to be a home run for Hawthorne. Nobody on, 2 outs. Makes it 8-6 here in the 7th. As Richard Arcienega has his 2nd home run on the season. So that brings up Matt Hickson. Hickson had a home run in the 4th inning. 3 home runs off Membrendo. Pitch for a strike. Perez is homered. Hickson is homered. Arcienega is homered. Could be the final out. Charging in, Cabral makes the catch. The final is going to be 8-6. But Hawthorne, after giving up 5 runs in the 1st inning, closes that gap. They come on strong. Johnny Membrendo is the winning pitcher. Losing pitcher will be Alfredo Gutierrez. The teams will meet at home plate and congratulate each other. Again, I'm Mike Kennedy. You've been watching Lawndale Hawthorne Game of the Week on cable television channel 22. Our producer has been Tom Strickfadden. Thanks to Larry Bender of HCTV. And our crew today, Eric Chavez, Norma Gilbrook, Alonzo Gonzalez, Paul Knapp, and Alan Pineda. And also we'd like to thank both head coaches, Joel Romero for the winning Leuzinger Olympians, and Jeff Hines for the Hawthorne Cougars. The final score, 8-6, Lawndale over Hawthorne. You've been watching the Game of the Week from Leuzinger High School. Have a pleasant day, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day.